Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, J City Reviews. Thanks for stopping by today. We have a unique piece that we're going to look at on today's video. This watch is on loan from my friend Average Joe, so thank you to him. It's not a new watch, he's had it for quite some time now, but it is the Bulova Precisionist Chronograph, and that's what we're going to take a peek at today. And I think we're going to find out that what's most unique about this watch is not anything on the outside, but it's everything that is on the inside, because this watch has a very unique movement that we're going to talk a lot about in today's full review. So thanks again for stopping by. Let's take a closer peek at this watch. Well, here it is, the Bulova Precisionist Chronograph. The model number is 96B175. There are multiple variations of this watch, but that's the model number for this particular version. Now, Average Joe put it on a nice NATO strap that, as you can see, matches some of the colors on the dial there. We'll get into the dial here in a moment, but I want to say right off the bat that I pronounce Bulova like that, Bulova. Perhaps I'm saying it wrong. Perhaps you're supposed to say Bulova. I'm not quite sure, but I hope people don't jump on me down in the comments too hard when I say Bulova. Anyway, wanted to get that out of the way. This is a really unique piece. We're going to start off with some specs and features. I already gave you the model number there. I had to do some digging about the movement. We're going to talk more about the movement, obviously, because the movement is really the star of this watch. It's what's under the hood that you don't see that really makes this watch special. But as you can see, it's a P102 movement from Bulova, and it's a high accuracy quartz movement. We'll talk more about it in a moment. The crystal is not sapphire, it's a mineral crystal, and it is a curved glass, which gives the watch a unique look and feel. The case material is stainless steel. Case diameter, I measured it at around 48 millimeters. Case thickness, this is a thick watch. Without the NATO strap there, it's 17.5 millimeters thick, so very chunky piece. Lug to lug is 54.5 as I measured it, and the lug width is 24 millimeters. This watch does come with a bracelet, pretty nice bracelet that's also made out of stainless steel. You can check out Average Joe's review of this watch to see that bracelet. The water resistance is very good, 300 meters, and I weighed this watch just on the NATO strap, and it came out to be 158.5 grams on the NATO. Let's talk about the movement. As I mentioned, I had to do some digging. There's not a lot of detailed information on Bulova's website about the particular movement, but it's a very special movement, and I ended up finding a website called calibercorner.com where I obtained a lot of this information. But the movement I've learned is called the P102 movement, and it's one of the most accurate movements in the world. An average quartz watch has a vibration rate of 32,768 kilohertz. This watch is 8 times more than the average quartz watch. The vibrations of this watch are around 262,000 kilohertz. That's the vibrational frequency. 8 times more than the average quartz watch, which is amazing. This movement has 8 joules, and it's accurate within 10 seconds a year. Not 10 seconds a month, 10 seconds a year. That is amazing accuracy. The battery that this movement takes is not your average watch battery, but it's a CR2016 battery, which is a larger battery. And actually, Average Joe opened up the case, and you can see the size of that battery on his video as well. But you see the sweeping seconds hand of this piece. You say, wow, this must be an automatic watch, but it's not. It beats so high, such a high frequency, that you get that buttery, smooth sweep of the second hand, which is even more smooth than any automatic watch that I have held in my hands before. And if I remember reading right, every second that passes, this is actually ticking 16 times. So it's amazing accurate movement. The design and durability of this watch we'll talk about briefly here, starting off with the case. I look at this watch and I see like an industrial feel. It's a chunky, large watch. As you can see from the thickness, there's a lot of different angles, and there's some curvature here to the case. Of course, with the bezel, you have some curvature there, and the crystal, of course, follows that curve, and it allows you to get some distortion on the dial as you turn it at different angles, which is pretty unique. It feels like a heavy watch in your hands. Even without the bracelet, you can feel the heft, you can feel the weight. And on my wrist, you can see that it looks a little bit large on my 6.5-inch wrists. The lugs don't protrude too far from the case, and they sit pretty much flush with the screw down case back. But for me, this watch is a little large, but for someone with larger wrists, this watch would be suitable for sure. The bezel, of course, is stationary. It's kind of held in place with these hex screws here. Not sure if they're just aesthetic or they serve a purpose, but they are there, and the bezel is stationary. The crown is a screw down crown, and as you can see, it's signed with the Bulova I was about to say signal, and the Bulova insignia or logo there. And it's a unique crown, a little bit hard at the beginning to unscrew, in my opinion, to get a good grip on it, but once you do, it comes out and it pops out pretty good. And it has these unique, like, curved and angled knurling there on the crown, and you can screw it back in place. Got to talk about the dial. It's really unique. There's a lot of depth to the dial, and a lot going on that we have to spend some time here. Of course, there's a lot of detail. There's various colors, as you can see. There's various textures going on as well. Of course, on the outside here, you might call it the chapter ring. There's a tachometer there on the outside. And as you step down, you see there's this stainless steel ring with this special kind of circular pattern of brushing. I guess I've learned that is called perlage pattern. I didn't know that before, but that's what that is there on that stainless steel portion. Then you move in a little bit, and you have this navy blue color with different texturing of these lines going around that are held in place with these 3 screws. Very interesting detail, and it looks like the indices, which are applied, kind of sit on top of that blue portion. As you go around, you can see that. So that's pretty unique as well. Then you move in and you get this black portion, and you see that is carbon fiber, which is unique. I've never seen that on a watch before. And so you get that pattern and that texture as well of the carbon fiber. So there's a lot going on just with different colors and different textures and design features of the dial. Pretty unique. And then, of course, you see there's 4 subdials, which we'll talk more about. Of course, you have the hour, minute, second hand as well, and then there is a date window down here in between the 4 and 5 o'clock. So up top, underneath the 12, you have the first subdial, which when you activate the chronograph feature, this keeps track of tenths of a second and hundredths of a second, if I'm not mistaken. And then down here at the 6 o'clock position, you get thousandths of a second. And then as you move over, you get the keeping of the minutes and the hours over here. So there's a lot going on. I want to quickly showcase the chronograph feature so you can see how it functions. First thing you do is you press the 8 o'clock pusher over here. We'll push that, and you'll see that the second hand will work its way all the way up to the 12 o'clock position. Once it's there, you can start the chronograph by pushing this pusher, and you can see the second hand begins ticking in a very noticeable and steady and clear and crisp pace. And then you see the tenths of a second and hundredths of a second going crazy up here at the top. And as it goes on, of course, the 1/1000th of a second will move as well, and the minutes and the hours as things go. It stops at 30 seconds. At least the top subdial stops working. But as you stop it, you'll notice that it'll tell you where it's at with the tenth of a second and the hundredths of a second. You start it again, stop it again, there you go, and then you can even see the thousandths of a second down below as well. I don't pretend to be an expert on how to read all of these things, but these features are there. You stop it again and reset it, and it'll all go back. And then you can click the 8 o'clock pusher again, and it'll bring you right back to where you were in your timekeeping, down to the exact second. So it's a unique movement. You get that super accurate timekeeping, and you get these nice chronograph features as well. Let's check the lume on this piece real quick before we start to close out this video. Well, here's a quick lume shot. There's only one light behind me that's still on, but you can get an idea of what the lume is. It's definitely a little lacking, but adequate, I think, to at least read the time when you need to. So coming down to the end of this video, we've talked a little bit about the bracelet. It does come on a stainless steel bracelet, and it's a very nice, well done quality bracelet, but Average Joe has put this on a nice blue and yellow NATO strap, which goes well with the yellow hands that you see on the dial and even that navy blue portion that we talked about. The price of this watch, it's not a cheap watch as far as MSRP goes. It goes for around $800. That's the list price. But checking on eBay and looking at the sold pieces of this one and similar variations, you can find this watch brand new from anywhere from $300 to $500. That's what I noticed on eBay. And then there's a link in the description, there's a link in the description from Amazon, which is an affiliate link if you choose to use it. It does help out the channel, but that list price there from Amazon is about $489. So not a cheap watch, but you're paying for that special movement that you really can't find anywhere else. Where else on a quartz watch are you going to see a beautiful sweeping second hand like that? So it's a unique movement that you can't find in other timepieces, and so I think that is a great selling point of this Bulova Precisionist Chronograph. So I'm going to step in front of the camera and give a quick final verdict of this timepiece. We'll see you over there. Well, there you have it. If super high accuracy is very important to you, this Bulova Precisionist Chronograph should be at the top of the list of watches that you're considering. You can't get much more accurate than this piece right here, and the movement that they've placed inside this watch, just superior accuracy above any other quartz watch that's out there. unless you were to buy a radio controlled or an atomic watch that receives those radio signals and sets the time, you can't find a more accurate watch than this piece right here. And we've seen that and talked about it here in the review today. I like a lot of things about this watch. Of course, I love that sweeping second hand, just looking down and knowing that this is not an automatic watch, but you still have that beautiful buttery smooth sweep. I love the design features of the dial. Of course, my only issue is the size of this watch. As someone with smaller wrists, this is a big chunky watch. If they could fit all of these design features and that amazing movement into like a 40 millimeter case diameter watch, I would see myself wearing this piece, no doubt. Thank you to Average Joe Watch Reviews for lending this into the channel. Go check him out if you're not subscribed already to him. And I'd like to hear what your thoughts are about this Bulova Precisionist. Do you have experience yourself with other Precisionists? I know there's multiple variations of this watch. Let me know down in the comments below what your opinion of this piece is. I'd love to interact with you down there. But that's it for today's video. Thanks for stopping by. I hope that you'll give this video a like, that you'll subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But that's it for today, and we'll see you next time here on J City Reviews.